Hello. Thank you so much for tuning in to Views from the 8%. I know it's been a minute. I know episodes been a little sparse. That's my bad. It's my fault, but we're here and I'm very excited about this episode because today we have not only an amazing guest, we have my friend, my ex-roommate, ex-classmate, cohort member, HU sis, etc., etc. We have Chelsie Esek, aka Esek Health, aka the dancing SLP, etc. Go ahead, Chelsea. Tell them what's up.
Hey y'all. Jordan, thank you so much for inviting me on today. I know it's been a lot happening online and in the world. I'm just fortunate and honored to have this time to be here and talk about, everything Black SLP Magic. So yes, my name is Chelsie Esek. I went to school with Jordan, we went to Howard University. Um, and I am a medical based speech language pathologist. I work primarily in acute care, in hospitals, et cetera, et cetera. Um, AKA the dancing SLP. I'm also a dancer right now. I currently am a bar instructor, which is kind of like a bar fitness in the lines of
Let me
Pilates.
tell y'all, listen, I took a class. I sure did take a class, and it was a great class. But could I walk afterwards? It's questionable. It was a great class.
Right.
It was great. It was fun. I needed it. It was a nice little
Yeah,
kick in the behind. Go
man.
ahead,
So
keep.
I try to get people snatched, get their waist snatched, get they throats for swallowing snatched and their body snatched, voice snatched. I try to do all of that. So speech pathologist by day and dancer slash teacher by night. I am a Nigerian-American, so I come from Nigerian immigrants. I'm the youngest of four. Um, and yeah, currently I live in Dallas now. I actually just relocated from the DC area. I was there, like Jordan mentioned, well, it's like 4 or 5 years. We were roommates the last 2 years of it. Great memories, great time. And I moved back closer to home. I'm originally from Houston, but I moved to Dallas just to be a little bit closer to home. So that is me in a nutshell.
Yes, yes, great times. We were in the beginning of quarantine together, started from the bottom. It was fun. It was rough, but it was fun.
It was a good time. It was a fun time. It was we was in the house, a lot of memories. I do miss DC, and that's why I wanted to bring the Black SLP Magic back there. Every time I go there, it's just always a spark of energy in my life, and it's my second home. So yeah, DC is always been had a special place in my heart, and will always continue to have a special place in my heart for
Yes,
sure. I
yes,
got my outfit on today.
as you should. So we are here to talk about Black SLP Magic. And, as you said, you held the first one ever in
Mhm.
DC. For
Yes.
me, great experience.
Oh
I
my
want to
God.
hear about how was that for you?
Whew. So let's kind of rewind a little bit. Basically, how this whole idea started, right? So the hashtag, um, basically, I would find all these women of color on my IG page, on my Instagram page, and they were coming up more and more and more. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. So I just started featuring these women on my stories. So I would start with maybe like five different women of color or men of color and hashtag use a hashtag at the top, hashtag Black SLP Magic. Specifically, if it was a girl, I would say Black hashtag SLP Girl Magic or Black Boy SLP Magic. And so more and more, people were like, "Oh my God, I love when you do this. Like, this is great. Like, I connect with so many people every time I see. I'm like, oh my God, it's another girl I know, or this or this, someone who looks like me online. Like, thank you for connecting us together." So then I was like, okay. So I just continued this weekly. Haven't done them in a little while, but I'll start back soon. Started to do it weekly, follow up by a post, and just like words of encouragement for us people of color, because we do go through adversities all day, every day that we can get into later. So my partner actually was like, "Hey, Chelsea, like, you are really good at planning. I'm the party host. Jordan can say, can also, attest to that. I would throw different events at our house, like just big hosts, is bringing all positive energies together." So my partner was like, "Why don't you just try to start a convention or a conference or some type of summit so where everyone can meet in person? So for bringing that social media aspect to like sisterhood or brotherhood in person." So I thought about it, pinned it on it, and then I was like, you know what? Let's just go for it. So when I saw from the beginning of the planning phase to when it happened, I'm still shocked at the amount of feedback that I got that was so positive. Granted, when you're planning something and you're head on in something, you don't really see or have time to step back and look like, oh wow, this is what the creation is, and almost like if an artist was creating a song, right? And they're like working all day in the studio, and then when they hear the song on the radio all the time, they're like, oh, okay, I guess it is pretty catchy. That's the same phenomenon I had. Planning this conference from Dallas, right, in a whole different state, um, was also an added stress factor for me. I think I mentioned too that I lost the luggage. Well, the luggage was lost. So we had to put all the gift bags and some of the merch in some boxes, and then it didn't really get to the destination in DC. So I was just praying and hoping that we found them, and finally we found them. But just those, turbulences through and challenges with planning it, and then coming to the day of and having everyone just fortunate for, oh my god, I got to see this person in person, or I feel like this was a community, I felt like I could be myself, I felt relatable. That was why it was worth it. So I would love to continue this journey. I would love to continue bringing this to people, and wherever the next location is, which is NOLA. I hope to be even bigger and better, and just improve and just bring more and more hashtag Black SLPs together.
Listen, we lit for NOLA, okay?
And yeah,
NOLA's gonna go up. I hope you're all ready. I just want to say, being in the space of a Black SLP Magic Conference, it was, I mean, obviously the first of its kind. Like, it was the first time that I've ever felt that way in a room like that. Like,
yeah,
it was very affirming. It was powerful. It was inspiring. And I think it had the same impact, like regardless if you were a student, if you were retired, if you are a emerging SLP, like everybody was impacted by this space.
right.
If you did not get the chance to go in DC, you should be planning ahead.
Yes, yeah. So and shout out to my mentor slash our old professor, Ashley Webb. She coined the term, and it's kind of like the theme of it is feeling safe, seen, and supported. And that's exactly what I wanted. And I just couldn't find the words to contextualize that. Um, and safe, we felt like this was our safe haven amongst all other things that aren't safe within our field. We felt supported. It was so many topics that we discussed and so many perspectives within those topics that you could grab what you needed, or you could take what you didn't and leave it on the floor. But either way, it was cohesive enough to listen to and appreciate. And feeling supported in general, just being around some and having connections. I feel like sometimes when we hear the word conference, it's so hard to find the people or the proctors or the panelists and talk to them afterwards. It's like, oh, wait, I needed to ask her a question, or they're running out. But this was so intimate to where people got each other's phone numbers, they got each other's IGs, and it's just it was such a good way to be cohesive and not to feel alone. I heard so many stories that I know a lot of SLPs of color go through, being the only color in a cohort of 20, being the only African American, or being the only just minority in general. Feeling that and expressing that, I think is a good thing that was very much valued for me. That's why I have to continue these, because next year, who knows, the next realm or the next wave of people that will appreciate it. So I'm happy. I was very happy. I almost cried.
Yeah,
I
no.
was very happy.
It was an essential space. And I think just like you touched on, like the intimacy was what was so different about it. Like it felt like
Right.
I heard somebody say, or several people say, like it felt like church on Sunday. Like it felt like you
Yeah.
were around family. It felt like you were around people that you've been known, like
Right.
people you've been known your whole life and you just met or you've only known on
Right.
Instagram, but it felt familial. So
Exactly. Totally.
and like when do you ever like outside of maybe being an SLP in a cohort at an HBCU, you might feel that type of sisterhood with other SLPs. But I feel like even that is a rare experience. Like I feel like
Yeah.
our cohort was a rarity in
Yeah.
that like we all got along, we're all still cool. Like let me tell you, the best part for me of SLP social scene was the whole cohort being there, or not the whole, but like a large amount, like seeing people come back and show up and show out for you like that. Like,
Yeah.
like,
And I
like they're across the country. Tala
exactly.
came from where she's Sudan,
Sudan, Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. Tala came from Saudi Arabia. That's
Just to be in
crazy.
perspective. Right.
Like I feel like that really put into perspective for me, like these are really my people, and I feel like that is a an experience that many people don't get with their cohort. But I feel like that same type of feeling I got at the Black SLP Magic Conference. Like it felt
Right.
like family, it felt like support, you felt seen, all those things.
Yeah. And two, I think, we come from a different lens because we went to Howard, which was an HBCU, but it was refreshing to hear some of the audience members coming from a non HBCU and saying, like, yeah, although I feel I can connect with, um, with you guys or online, when I have to go back to Timbuktu University with all non-black SLPs, how do I keep this sustained connection?
Mm.
So for me, it was just establishing that longevity for that, because a lot of SLPs don't have that, or SLPs to be, or clinicians, or SLPAs, whatever. Just in general, minorities do not have any support, and um, as long as I am alive and well and healthy, I want to continue to provide that support, online and in person. So definitely keeping us fed in those ways. I can't wait to bring new topics next year. I don't want to spoil it yet, but definitely new panelists too. A different space, like as Jordan said, it's going to be in New Orleans, Louisiana. So that's a whole nother realm of SLPs there and culture there. We're not doing no Mardi Gras, but it'll be very fun to kind of just be in a different space and not being in DC. Also, we at the conference we had food. Food was bomb. I heard.
Uh, Fire.
Yeah, it was go every time. It
What's
was a
her name?
great.
Can we shout her out? Do you remember what her name is?
Let's shout her out. Her name is at the Hawaiian Style Catering. Hawaiian Style
We'll put
Catering.
her in the description.
Yes,
But
yes, yes.
she hit it.
Man,
Everything.
Tiara was great. Like she was great. She's a young mother. She started from the bottom to grind it up, and now she's just booked out. So I was really fortunate for her to, have connections there too and
Yes. Let's
network.
talk about all
Um,
the Black-owned businesses that were there.
yes,
Can we
yes.
talk about it?
Man, we'll get into vendors. Let's talk about the drinks. Oh my goodness! So there were libations and there were non-alcoholic beverages. At Drinks with Kayla, drinking drinks with Kayla, I believe.
Yeah.
She was phenomenal. We had the famous smoky mimosas going. We had the cocktail hour. We had the signature drinks. We had, I think it was brown skin and something else, signature cocktails that were great. The DJ at Instagram this too had the vibes going. The photography at Shooter's Art had everybody looking amazing. We had the decor, twisty balloons. I'm going off of memory. Twisty balloons, and then let's get into the vendors outside. Oh my goodness! So I wanted to have a dual experience where people could also showcase, whatever they sell. So we had candles, we had books, we had planners, we had University of Loyola National Black Speech and Hearing Association chapter coming out. We had essential oils. We had JRC, the SLP. We had Smiles for Speech. We had just an array of people coming out, and I think people, even though it was cold, it was warm in the spirit because it was all Black people loving each other and supporting each other.
We was
And
out there in the cold enjoying ourselves.
yeah, enjoying. It was a photo booth out there. Like, let me tell you, photo booth. Tia Snap, she had us looking right. She had the digital photos. So enthusiastic about talking about it, that's. I hope I'm showing how much fun it was. So to miss the next one, I think you'll be missing out. Pretty
Yeah.
much.
And we know that we still want it to be a rather intimate space. So you got to get your tickets while you can.
Yeah, you got to get them.
But people will tell you it's worth every penny.
I had to I think open up the tickets maybe 3 or 4 times so people could get their last minute tickets in. I'm fortunate for my first ever sponsorship with Simple Practice. They were amazing and supportive in that way. They're an online platform for private practice owners to do billing, documentation, etc. So they were believing in the vision of both SLP Magic and Social Scene. So they wanted to, associate themselves with these phenomenal events, which was great. So looking forward to more sponsorships. Anyone who wants to, participate and show love or support for what we're doing, you can reach out to Jordan and I, and we will love to partner with you guys. It's just all about, again, making people feel that they belong, even if you are not in a situation where you feel belong.
Let me touch on that because I can't tell you how many students or young SLPs came up to me at the conference that go to PWIs, predominantly white institutions, and we're just like, it's so crazy to be in this space for me because there's nowhere else where I feel like I can be myself. There's nowhere else where I feel like I can wear my natural hair. I'm doing all this now and at Social Scene too, like I'm here dancing and like I'm hearing all these different like these powerful Black women and I'm feeling inspired. But when I go back to this space, like I'm afraid that I won't be able to take it with me. Like I
Right.
heard that. I hear
Right.
it a lot, and it's true. Like I feel the same way. Like I
Yeah.
still am
Same.
missing that space because we don't get that. Like we don't have that,
At all.
Like, but
At
it tells you
all.
how important it is.
It's so important and touches on from social media to sisterhood. Like, yes, online we can like, comment, and share as much as we can, but when we bring it to in person, it's a different type of connection that we yearn for. It's a different type of need that we have to keep sustaining within the community. And a lot of the questions that I received was, "What's the difference between Mbazla or sisters and this, or what's the difference between, yeah, I thought there's Mbazla where we all meet." Those are still warranted. Like, those are still great. Like, those organizations are still doing exactly what we're the purpose of bringing non-whites together. However, the difference is we are more for Black SLP Magics. We're a little bit more intimate, and we're getting into the situations and the issues that are happening now in the field. Nothing that happened in the past. So we're bringing up issues that are reoccurring in day to day for the new era of students. We are continuously trying to keep it young and keep it relatable to both old and young. I'm not saying those other companies or those other organizations are not doing that. However, Black SLP Magic comes from a digital lens, which comes from social media. So these are the social media world people who are like, oh, okay, I use Instagram rather than someone from Mbazla who's not really Instagram savvy. So that's the difference. And hopefully my goal is to expand it over to Mbazla and maybe do more partnerships with them and sisters. Actually, shout out to Miss Julia Thomas Bradford. She was on one of the panelists, and she's the founder of Sisters. So she came and she showed up and she expressed everything to her community. I appreciate that so much, and I was really fortunate for her, to be there. So just keeping keeping that idea in mind when we try to compare the different groups. It's not necessarily a competition. It's just a different era and a different perspective of what the purpose is and why we're doing this. So
No, I think that touches on a great topic, something I have conversations about all the time with my partner who is in academia. He's getting his PhD, and he I don't know if I should be telling his business like this, but he hates academia.
He loved me. He loved me. He know me. That's my bro. So
Right. He hates academia. And we talk about this a lot because when it comes to research or funding to have these type of events or any of those things like that, most times you have to be attached to a university. And I think that makes it, I mean, we have a lot of issues there with access and with like people who are no longer attached to a university, who are not a student or a professor or a clinician for a university. Like, what are we supposed to do? Are we just not supposed to have our own events, or are we just not
right,
supposed to build things that we want for ourselves?
right.
um, and then another thing that we talk about a lot is that, like, the access that social media brings, like, who
Yes.
so many people would never have heard of these opportunities even about Mbazla or about sisters if it wasn't for social media.
Right.
So I think
Right.
this is exactly what we want. Like, we want
Yeah.
to continue this growth. Like, we want to see more events. We want to see more things for us. Like,
Yeah.
period. That's the goal. The goal is to
Exactly.
see more things for us and
The
different
goal.
variations of it.
Exactly. So, yes, it may be the quote unquote unconventional way to do or start an organizational type of thing, but however, it was so effective with just a hashtag, and it continues to be effective. I think the other day I looked at the hashtag Black SLP Magic following on IG, and there's so many people following that hashtag alone, and that wouldn't have been a thing if it wasn't brought to light by either a black SLP, right? So someone has to be the pioneer, someone has to start it. It just takes the community to continue that. So
Look, that goes great into my next question. What advice would you have for someone that, like, has an idea or like something that they want to start? Like, maybe somebody wants to start something for the Latinx community. Like, maybe somebody wants to start something, like something cool like that. Like,
yeah.
somebody wants to do something like that and just like, man, like, I don't know where to start. This seems so overwhelming. I don't know how somebody would do that. Like, what would you
Uh,
tell them?
my first thing that comes to mind is start. Period. Start. The next thing is to be authentic. For me and you, Jordan, we're just naturally ourselves. Like, I don't try to alter who I am for anyone or any person, even online. And I know that's so hard for people to be their authentic self. However, if you continue to try to put the information out, one person a day will see what you're posting, just one. And by the time the traction starts, that one person a day, by the end of the week, that's 7 people. So if you don't start, then no one will know. That's exactly how the algorithm kind of works online. You have to use a hashtag more than just one time and not get defeated if you don't get any feedback the first time. Nope.
Yeah.
Try it again. Try it again. For me, I just didn't stick with my timeline. I featured other women or other men of color for them to kind of bring awareness to what I'm doing. So it's like, oh, this is nice. I got featured with amongst all these other Black people. Let me continue to follow that. Right. Rather than just all about me, and my content, make your content about others in a positive way. And no one has anything else to say but nice things. But if you don't start and you keep it all in your notes, nothing's going to come to fruition from that. Nothing's going to come to fruition. If you're kind of, whatever you're afraid of, the opportunity is on the opposite side of fear. I love that quote so much. And you have to make sure that you're pushing that boundary. If you don't think that you can do it, what happens if you try? What happens if you did do it? You never know.
What happens
So,
if you did do it? What happens if you were successful? That's what you need to be asking yourself. What happens if
right.
you did succeed?
What happens if you did that at Latino XA or Latino hashtag weekly, and all of a sudden you get a slew of these people, and they're like, "Yo, can you continue? Can we make a group chat? Can we meet in person? Where are you located? Oh, I'm located here. Oh my God, let's link." Like, that's how that's what social media is, right? It's for connections. Yes, you can post. Yes, you can talk about the breakup. Yes, you can talk about how sucky ASHA is. Yes, you can talk about how sucky this and this is. However, the overall goal is to connect with others who also have like minds with you, or you want to hear other perspectives from. So for me, I try to keep it positive almost all the time, unless it's warranted for some negativity. But I try to keep it positive. I try to just, again, where it's not shown, in the world of SLP or even in the world of just Black community, we have to show up. So
Yes, that's real. You really just got to start. You just got to get things started. I know something that I do, I get stuck in analysis paralysis, like I feel like there's something else I can make better, or I can there's something else I need to figure out before I can start. Or let me say past me, because I don't do that anymore. And I just
right,
now I've learned,
yeah, and you wouldn't have learned if you didn't what start.
I didn't start. And you know what
Mhm.
else I've learned is that every time I start, whenever I do something again, I learn something new. If I do it
Yeah,
another time, I learn two more things. That's three more things I just learned. If I do it another time, I learn two more things. Now,
yeah,
the next time, ooh, it's gonna hit.
you're all good.
Like
You're good. You know, another quote by someone. I'm a quoter. I love books. Well, let me say, I love self help books. I call myself a stoic. A stoicism. Ryan Holiday. If you guys don't know him, please look him up. He has one of my favorite books called "Ego is the Enemy," and it really changed my perspective on just life in general and what you can control and what you can't. So one thing that he mentions is mistakes are proof of you learning. So if you're not making any mistakes or if you're not trying anything, how would you know? How could you attest to growth, right? So you have to continue to make those mistakes in order to learn. And for me too, I like feedback. I love when somebody corrects me and tells me, hey, like, da, da, da. Okay, cool. Noted for next time. But that shows that at least I'm attempting to be a better individual, better person, better clinician, better sister, better brother, better girlfriend, but better whatever. But in order for me to kind of advance in any other way, you have to be able to attend to the task to the best of your ability. And if you do get feedback from that, try to use it and change for the next time. So again, mistakes are proof of learning. So I hope you guys continue to try. You know, me and Jordan's pages didn't start. I think, we both was not even thinking that our pages would be what it is today. I tell people that all the time. When I started, I did not like it was not supposed to be this whole that my purpose was not found when I made my page. My purpose was found when I continued to do the work on my page.
listen, I
You,
tell people all the time. I think I said it in a previous episode. When I started my page, I had no goal other than to be a black face in the
you
sea of white people. Like
period,
that's all I wanted. Like
period.
I just
And I
needed people
think
to see me.
exactly. And I think I always tell people about the one picture that we took. We both took. Stephanie took it in our and outside of our house quarantine. We took the picture and it had the shirts and we had Black SLPs Matter or Black Speech Pathologists Matter. And from there is when me and Jordan found the purpose. Like, okay, cool. We may approach it a different way. However, we didn't find the work or the importance until we continued to do it.
Literally.
So literally,
I was reposting other people's, like I was reposting other people's information. I was like, oh, this is good. I should share this. Like that's what I was doing. And
right?
then George Floyd happened. ASHA didn't say anything. I needed to say something. And then our picture happened where people were like, oh, it's Black SLPs. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
And then after that, I used our picture again in black and white, and I shared like my story of being at a
Oh yeah,
PWI undergrad, and that blew up too. And I was like, this is why I'm here. Like I'm here to share my story. I'm here so that other people know they're not alone. I'm here to build a community. Like now I know. Now I know what I need to talk about.
now we know. And so we didn't find our purpose, like I said, when on the first go around. No, I think I had my page since what 20 something. I had it just sitting there. I would like post my little CFY stuff, and then I post like I think I started these things, tried to called Refreshment Fridays, and then that didn't really go through. And I was like, okay, what's my purpose? Unfortunately, it had to take an adversity for us to find our purpose. But again, it wasn't until maybe what post 12 or 10 when we got the recognition, quote unquote, that we were looking for. Even then, it's still not about that. It's about continuing to do the work to make sure these SLPs feel seen, safe, and supported. Like besides that, I appreciate my non-Black followers. They support me. Actually, we had some non-Black SLPs attend the conference, which I was fortunate for. But my purpose is not that, because I feel like there's a lot of representation, 92% of representation already in the field, and there's only 8% representation of us in our field. So if we can continue to capitalize and continue to grow the small people, the minorities, we will be in a better place. Or it's not even in a better place, just making us feel connected. That's the word I'm looking for. Feel connected. So um, you also brought up a good point, Jordan, about uh you supported other people before you started kind of posting your stuff. I think sometimes online we get a bias of what we like and what we don't like, right? Physically like and what we don't like. But just overall support of others of our liking, that's better than not saying anything at all. I think that's just etiquette, I would call it, social media etiquette. Like, hey, if it's your Black sister showing, trying to start her page, show love to the small businesses, show just as much as you show love to the big businesses.
Because
That's
the
also
big businesses get love.
yeah, like the big businesses, let me tell you, they get all the recognition, they get all the reposting. But what about that small page, that private practice that, this brown SLP just started, that doesn't have 1,000,002 likes, it doesn't have 1,000,002 followers? Why don't we show love to her? That's who I'm searching for. And that's
That's what
why
I'm.
I post. Yeah, that's why I post the Black SLP Magics, for those girls, for those guys who don't really have the recognition.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely pride myself on that because there's like there's a whole thing on social media where like people don't look deeper into the posts. They take it for what it
Oh,
is. They do no
yeah,
further research. Like
yeah,
I don't do that. And
yeah.
what I see is that there are so many of the smaller pages that are putting out amazing content, bro. Like
Hit. Y'all need to keep going because we see you.
bro,
Okay.
I see you and I repost and
Yes.
like I support. Like I have no bias. If it's good, I don't care if you have 2 followers. I'm putting
Yes.
it up. Like
Yes.
and
Yes.
that alone should be enough for you to share. Like it takes one person. It takes one person to see it and share. And this is another thing I talk about a lot is like people get discouraged if they're not getting a lot of likes, if their followers aren't building like they want them to. Like none of that matters because I remember when I had like I don't even think it was Instagram. I think it was YouTube. My YouTube is like small. Like I don't get a lot of views.
Right.
And I remember I saw someone post like my daughter just saw this video and now she's thinking about becoming an SLP. She's never seen a Black SLP before. And like the video had like 40 views, bro. I did not care. Like I just
Yeah.
changed somebody's life.
It takes one person. It takes one person to change the perspective of how you feel about that post. Like, again, I think sometimes social media etiquette is like, oh, the more followers, the more reputable. That's false. That is definitely false. You can have 1,000,005 followers, or you can have 12K followers, and then you be posting anti-Black people stuff, and it's just it's non-productive. Or like Jordan said, the person who has that one or two posts, but that post was hidden. It said everything it needed to say for me that day. Best believe I'm reposting it. Period. That's it. And that's showing support for the minority in follower land and in reality and in color. So I think the social media thing. Don't get offended or don't get boggled down by the fact that you're not getting enough love. At the end of the day, it's a social media algorithm. Someone is going to see it. Someone, that one, can into 7 by the end of the week. So
So, I want to start wrapping up, but I think I would like to know how would you define Black SLP magic?
okay. I would define Black SLP magic is as the SLP or the SLP to be or the SLPA or the audiologist, Black or brown, who feels confused, who feels unsafe, who feels unsupported, who feels unseen, looking and yearning for community. I would define that as someone who gets up every day, tries to be the best SLP possible, but gets hit down by turbulence at the workplace or at school or by your professor or by a patient or a client or a mother or a father or a parent or a principal, you feel so defeated. It's like, dang, what can I do? But the next day you get up and you keep going. That is what I call Black SLP magic. The magic continues, what I've been using and what I love, because regardless of how much we go through, the magic will continue. They need us more than we need them. They need our presence more than we even need this field. Without us in this field, there would be no magic, period. So the conference is only a bigger scale of the most important thing, which is remaining present, remaining sensitive, and also just remaining loved. Just being okay, feeling okay to be Black in this field, being non-white in this field, and finding that that's okay. It's adversity. However, I know I have community.
And
That's what Black is.
that's what's
That's,
changed everything for me is
yeah.
I have community. Like
I
it
have
changed.
community.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying, I was just repeating that for you. I have community.
I have community. Say it again.
Right. Repeat this after you listen to this. I have community.
Write that on your mirror affirmations, okay?
Period. I have community. That's exactly what it is. You have community, you have support. And imagine how much more confident you feel when you have some people or you have a whole group or a tribe ready to back you up regardless if you make a mistake.
And can I just give the perfect example of what community is? When we talk about what happened to Dr. Ianessa Hunter, and did we not stand up? Did we not stand up?
Let me tell you.
Community.
That's community, right? That's community. Feel like that in general. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. If you want to DM someone, I know sometimes it takes a while to get back or it takes a while for them to respond, but you can email us. We here, we're online. It may take give us like some hours, but we'll get back to you for you to feel that support, because we know how it felt when we were back in school. Like, what? Yeah, even sometimes it was hard for us to reach out to our Black professors, but when we went online, we would be like, whoa, it's a whole nother community here. So
that might need to be part 2.
Right, part 2.
Might need to be part 2.
I think because I think I mentioned this on you guys' live, and I was like, let's talk about the Black SLPs who don't support SIPS tea.
That tea is gone.
Right, tea is all gone. That's exactly. We'll get into that part 2. But yeah,
because that's real. Sometimes where you think support will be, it's not always going to be there. And it's the reality. The reality is, as another quote, not from a book, I don't know where it's from, but all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Okay. And that is the truth. Everybody, just because you share similar cultures or share a skin tone, maybe share a race, that does not mean that you all have the same beliefs. Black people are not a monolith. Black people all have different perspectives. They all have different experiences. And there are a lot of commonalities. But that doesn't mean that we all deal with those same commonalities in the same way. And that also doesn't mean that anybody is right or wrong in the way that they treat them. I think I saw, it was Dr. Humbert, and she posted, you can't tell someone how to be a victim. Like, because we all victims at the end of the day.
Right.
You can't tell someone how to be a victim.
Exactly. So that would be a great conversation for part 2, because I think me and you both can talk about many experiences where we tried to reach out to other people of color and we did not get the response that we thought. But I can tell you this, because I want to end on a positive note. If you reach out to the Black SLP Magic page, or Jordan, or JRC the SLP, or Esek Health, my mission is to continue to support, make you feel safe, seen, and supported. I will not turn you away. I will not respond. Let me know. I have a Calendly. You can find it in the link in my bio. My email is, I will drop it down, is esekhealth@email.com, not at Gmail. Let me know. Let's chat. Let's talk. Any questions you have. I just talked with a student today on the phone as I was leaving the grocery store and giving her the tea on medical acute care or acute being in a hospital SLPs and what to do and what not to do. So I'm an open book. I think the knowledge should be spread to everyone. It should be game spread to everyone. Put people on game. Why not? It just,
Right.
again, bring that 8% to what, that 9% if we need, if we can get there. So
And to continue on the positive note, there are so many Black SLPs that are willing to do this. Like, there are so many Black SLPs that want nothing more than to support other Black SLPs or
oh my
other
God.
SLPs of color. Like,
Um,
that is how Dr. Humbert and I met. Is it? I don't know, but very early on in our relationship, I needed help because I was getting these opportunities and I was so new to this. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to charge. I don't know who to ask, like all these things. And she was there for me. She
yeah.
sat up on a phone call, walked me through these questions. And she was there for me as a mentor when my mentors were not,
Mhm.
you know, were not.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So many, like you said, so many SLPs out there. I'll shout out a few if I can remember. I know SLP Contract Queen. She just did a amazing. I
The
think
business suite, the SLP
yeah,
business suite.
the business suite. She just put Miss Ebony. Oh my gosh, she's the mold for me. If I wanted to open a private practice tomorrow, she would be the first person I would DM. Like, what? She just has so many Black SLPs and in general, just spitting game about how to make money from for your own. Like, who else? It's so many. I can go on and on.
Well, we're gonna
But
add some more in the description with their
yeah,
permission. But there
yeah.
are so many Black SLPs out there that are willing to support y'all. And if you haven't seen already, I have 2 posts, Black SLPs you should know. There
Oh
are
yeah.
amazing Black SLPs on that post, and all of them, I wouldn't have shared them with y'all if they weren't willing to look out for y'all, because
And
those type of people I don't want on my page. So
right,
the
right, right.
people that I shared are
Yep.
willing to help y'all.
Hmm.
So hit them
Hmm.
up.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, Jordan has that, and I think a post I had back in the day for just to not make it biased with the females only. I know there's a few. I think I made a male SLPs you should know. Reach out to them for any help. They're great. I think it's Dean. It's Ryan. We'll just drop all the names down so you guys can just have support from a male perspective and female. We got you. We got you. The magic continues. It will
Like
always forever.
that. I like the magic continues. Okay, my last question. If you could go back, no, I have 2 more questions. This is second to
Okay.
last.
Okay.
Second to last, if you could go back in time to any time where you feel like it would be the most beneficial for you, what would you go tell young Essex?
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna take it back to when I was, ironically enough, I was in Denton, Texas, which is maybe like an hour away from Dallas, and this was my undergrad. And I was a black-eyed, bushy-tailed freshman. I was like, "Yep, I want to double major in speech language pathology and in dance, and graduate in 4 years. Period. That's what I'm doing." And so I went into the I think admissions counselor's office or advisor at the time, and told her my plan. And she's like, "Okay, so what class are you gonna take? How many hours?" And I was like, "Well, I'm gonna be a double major, and I'm gonna, take at least 24 credit hours a semester." And so she looked at me dead in my eyes and told me, "You're not gonna graduate in 4 years. You're gonna graduate in maybe 7." And I've never in all my years. And here's another thing. Guess what race she was? She was
Black.
black. She was black. So bringing us back to our point, every black person ain't kinfolk, right? So I'm like, wow, like, okay, I'm a freshman. She's telling me this. So I walked out of that office and I was so defeated. At that time, I should have told myself, start and finish. Do it. You're gonna do it. Fast forward to 4 years later, I graduated in 4 years. I did take those 24 credit hours a semester flawlessly. I took every mini semester, the ones in December and the ones in January, the ones in May. I was in school round the clock. But my point is what I told myself was, Chelsea, you're going to prove her wrong. You're going to prove her wrong. That's what I just kept saying. So I use that same mentality when anyone tells me I can't do anything. I'm gonna prove you wrong. I'm gonna plan a conference all the way from Dallas. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna start and I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna finish. So I think the motif and the ranging theme in my mind that young Essex established is start and finish. Period.
Love
Let me
that.
stop. I'm not city girls. Let me stop saying period.
Period. You know what it is, okay?
Right. Start and finish. So I'm happy little Essex has established the mental capacity for big Essex now. Like, yeah, starting and finishing. Even it doesn't matter if it's a job, doesn't matter if it's a career, doesn't matter if it's personal life, running on the trail. I'm a runner. Start and finish. You started it, so finish it. Started it, so finish it. And if you can't finish it, pick up the next day and try to finish it. So
Yes. Love that. Just start. Just
just
start.
start.
All
And
right. And finish.
yeah, there you go. And finish. You can't do half-assing it now.
Right.
You have to go through the course to get to the end goal. You have to go through.
And
So
another
it makes
quote. All your quotes have been from books. All my quotes are just like old Black people quotes.
there
What was I gonna say? Oh, you grow through what you go through.
you go.
You
You
grow
grow through what
through
you go
what you
through.
go through. All right.
Man, you just have to start. And another one of my quotes from a book, my favorite author, Anthony Maxwell, he said, in order to change habits, it starts in your daily routine.
Mm-hmm.
Simple. It's the smallest thing. Like, it's not even that deep. Your daily routine. If you want to stop something, just daily routine every day. This little bunch. And then by the end of the week, oh, you've already stopped that habit. So it all starts in your daily routine. Just start small. Just start small. But either way, the key word is START. Start.
We'll write it out in phonetics for you. Transcribe it, I should say. Um, okay, my last question. All right, because we talking about routines. So I just, for the people, help out the people.
Mhm.
Maybe a song to get their day started right, and maybe like one little workout move, get their body flowing.
Girl.
Look, these are your two specialties.
Oh,
I thought this was an easy question.
you know, and pop lock stretch, girl. You get on my nerves. Okay, so I think let me the song. I love trap music. I love hip hop. If you're a hip hop or trapper, especially using those type of upbeat songs to complete a run or complete a hard workout, start there. I'm a Draker. Drake is my
I'm a
boo.
drinker.
I'm a Draker, so Drake is on my playlist. I actually been listening to a lot of Lil Baby and a lot of Gunna and Moneybagg Yo. So yeah, listen to your favorite song in the morning. Also, I would suggest kind of before you even start the day, just kind of wake up and instead of scroll, just think. Think about your day. Think about what your intentions are. If you're spiritual, go ahead and pray. I read my daily Stoicism book in the morning to just kind of get my mind together, and then I'm hitting the gym or I'm hitting something. So you may not be a physical person, but just at least you can mentally work out your mind by just taking away from scrolling as soon as you wake up in the morning and just think, just like, okay, what's today? Okay, what's the weather? Okay, what am I going to do today? Do I work? Do I not work? Just think. So that's one. And then my favorite move is, pop, lock, and drop it. I'm just kidding. My favorite
Get them thighs burning.
right. Keep the thighs out, pop, lock, and drop it. My favorite move is just to move. Like, I know, again, quarantine is so hard to move. Walk around your neighborhood, go walk the dog, go check the mail, do a plank for 10 minutes or 10 minutes for 10 seconds on every commercial that you see. That's one thing that I started to tell my students in bar classes to if you plank for 10 seconds for every commercial on the show, that equals I think 50 seconds total. So just start there. Just plank, stretch your arms out, stretch your wrists, relax your jaw, relax the jaw, stop popping your back. And yeah, just try to think about your alignment throughout the day. Just move as much as you can. Keep the blood flowing. A move a day can keep the heart attack away. So yeah.
A
Mhm.
word.
There you
Well,
go.
Chelsie, aka Esek Health, aka the Dancing SLP, aka Gang. You know, I
AKA fan forever.
I truly appreciate you being here. We're obviously gonna have to have you come back, you
Oh
know.
yeah, we gotta talk
So
about part two.
we definitely have to talk about part two. We need an in-person episode. People need to see our energy in person, you know.
Oh my God,
Next
that'll be
time you
great.
come to DC.
Yeah, the next I need to come. I need to come soon. Like I said, I need to make my rounds.
Yes. Pull
I'm
up.
gonna bring-
I mean, when it's safe, you know,
Right,
everybody stay safe out there.
let's say yes.
Get them N95s. Get your hand
Okay,
sanitizer. KN95.
bleach white. If you're a bleacher like me, I'll be bleaching the seats. People look at me crazy. I don't care. Boom.
Stay safe, friends. Thank you
Yeah,
so much for being here.
of
Thank you,
course.
Chelsea. And I'll see you again soon. I promise, soon this time.
All right.